Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TOI Auto, and right now you see the Harriet EV in this striking color behind me. And the reason I'm here with this car is because we are going to talk to a very important person related to the project, related to the company. I've got with me Vivek Srivatsa. He is the Chief Commercial Officer of Tata Motors. Vivek, thank you for joining the show.
My pleasure.
And I have spoken to Vivek numerous times over the years. What I can tell you is it's definitely going to be interesting and insightful. So, Vivek, starting off with the first question. Name one feature in the Harriet EV that's not just your personal favorite, which, in your opinion, makes it different from any of its rivals. One feature.
It's got to be the quad wheel drive, the dual motor setup. Like I say, it does many things. One is, of course, that performance, the 0 to 100 in 6.3. It democratizes supercar performance. But what it also does is allows the car to go beyond the normal road, what we call as off-roading is definitely possible. So that's a very unique mix, ability to go off-road but also deliver performance. But the most important thing in all-wheel drive also is safety, because all four wheels are controlled by traction. The application of the ESP and overall the safety on bad roads, wet roads is much better. So for me, that is the most differentiating aspect because it really democratizes technology, performance, and gives a very unique experience to the owners of Harrier. Yeah.
And I remember some time back you had mentioned how investing in a 4x4 doesn't make sense for the petrol or the ICE versions. But now you have it here. It's been a few days that the prices were out. What kind of response you've got, A, for the Harrier EV in general, and specifically for the all-wheel drive?
I think to just qualify what you said, I think that was a while back. Maybe even pre-COVID, I would say.
Around COVID.
Yeah, and obviously the consumers changed quite a bit from that time. And also at that point of time, we were, managing multiple legs, the emission norms and change of platforms and all that. So we had to prioritize, But like I said, I think the demand for more evocative vehicles which are bought by heart rather than head has dramatically gone up after COVID. And we were always, if you go back to our history, we were a company which really pushed the narrative of, an off-road life, So we had to come back. It was only a matter of time. Keeping up with the times, we thought a more future-oriented approach to all-wheel drive is the better way. And, it's not mechanically delivered the traditional 4x4 way, but I think for 95% of use cases this is more than enough. And like I said earlier, it also unleashes certain other parameters, so it's not just all-wheel drive which takes you off-road, but it also delivers power, safety, etc. So we thought it's a great future-facing option, and hence we have taken it. Yeah. In terms of customer response, yes, I think pleasantly surprised, I would say. A huge amount of our bookings are oriented towards the quad wheel drive top end variants. Hopefully it should sustain, and usually we see the early adopters going for the top spec variants. But I should say that in terms of mix, we are more than pleasantly surprised about the number of people opting for QWD.
And who's the buyer, according to you? Who's the right buyer for you? Because you've got a number of EVs now across the range, starting from Punch EV. So who's the right, what kind of buyer you looking?
I'll give you two kind of answers here. One is this typical, the marketing answer in terms of demographics, Largely we are seeing customers between 30 and 40, probably double income, no kids. They want a vehicle which reflects their lifestyle and their status. But if I go specifically into what is the lifestyle and what is the kind of use cases they want, again, we are very surprised that a lot of Harrier.EV buyers are first-time EV buyers, So a popular perception is that they would have lived through a few EVs or at least one EV before they, progress to a more expensive EV. But it's becoming very clear that the Indian consumer has been researching EVs for some time, and probably they've not got the right mix of features, price, performance so far, and this is where this is going towards that, because at a certain price they expect a certain range, certain set of features, certain amount of performance. I think Harrier EV is going in that direction, which is kind of closely mirroring the consumer need, and hence people are jumping into the EV ownership cycle with this. So, like I said, we are pleasantly surprised by the number of people opting for QWD. Also, the number of first-time EV buyers opting for Harriet EV is also a pleasant surprise. I think it. So, to summarize, I would say these are customers who are comfortable having only one car at their home and it being an EV. A lot of current customers, of our other product ranges use the EV as a secondary car at home. They have one family car and one city car. But now we are seeing consumers making a choice that I'll have one car which can do everything, and that can be an EV now. So that's a new window which has opened up now with the Harrier EV. Yeah.
And you mentioned a lot of buyers are first time EV buyers.
Yeah.
Is there a number you would have like from the bookings
Right
of
now, I mean, things are changing every day. So but it's a big percentage is what I would say. Yeah.
And you've been one of the pioneers in the EV space in the country. You've been around for a lot of time. You have a lot of data from your customers. If I'm not wrong, about 8 billion kilometers.
8 billion.
So, I mean, when you go through all of this data, is there any one learning that you can share with us that the team, the engineers didn't have at the beginning, and the biggest learning that has come out of these kilometers?
I think the one big learning which surprised us is that once people get an EV, they drive more. It's up to 30% more. So that is a surprising factor, because I guess it's cheaper to drive but also easier to drive, and also it becomes the default car for everybody at home. So probably people are reaching out for the EV key more than other keys because it's just easier and cheaper. So the average runs per month does go up. That is one big thing. But in terms of data, we are able to get data around charging cycles, usage patterns, even driving habits, and that helps us a lot in developing and right sizing future products. So you will see that as we go along, clearly we'll start addressing use cases with each of our products. There is a clear, for example, there is this set of customers who really want long distance drive. So there's a certain battery pack below which they will not be interested. It's the other way around also. There are car users who want it only as a city car, but they want city specific features. So I think right sizing of battery packs, cost, features, the way the BMS works, everything can be done using this data, and we are able to now kind of cluster the different use cases much better. Yeah.
And Vivek, when it comes to pricing, we've been seeing lately, not just with your vehicles, some of your other rivals, they've been able to price their vehicles very competitively. So where is this competitiveness coming from in terms of pricing? Because it can't be battery prices alone, because not much has changed. So how is it happening?
I think competitiveness is a summary of many things. One is the BOM cost itself, bill of material cost itself. Others is the amount of localization you can do. Third is how much you're willing to pass on to the market or even let go of your profits. So it's a combination. It's also a reflection of market, I would say, presence. If you want to gain market share, you might want to undercut. So there are different scenarios under which pricing plays out. But you will see that if I have to really compare, and you will have to. I won't look at it only as pricing, but overall value. I think whether it is localization, whether it is right sizing of products, whether it is giving the latest features at a great price, we are addressing each of our products in this basis, and we are fairly convinced that each of our products are in the right spot when you look at it as an overall package. When the response to Harriet EV and Nexon 45 has been very good and it's going up. Curve also started picking up pretty well now, and what we really believe is that once competitors come, people are really seeing the value of our products the way it is. It is not an imaginary competition which will come, but it's a real life comparison, and we are quite confident now how we'll be able to match in terms of value with other competitors. Yeah.
And last question, Vivek. The segment that the Harrier EV operates in, it's not like a mass market segment.
Yeah.
It's a premium segment. Now, of course, you will also have the the Sierra with the ICE and EV coming in some time. Now, when with that, will it be too many options for the customers because it's a limited volume segment? Do you see they could be cannibalizing each other, or do you see growth for both?
Not at all. First of all, I think between 20 and 30 lakhs, almost 30,000 cars are sold in a month, and it's growing. In fact, the spending power of Indian consumer is continuously going up. If you look at the sweet spot, 5 years back it was less than 10 lakhs. Now it is in excess of 12 lakhs, and it keeps going up. Today, again, 5 years back, the largest category was probably the compact SUV. Today it is the mid SUV, and I won't be surprised in 3 years if it is the high SUV. So I think that part is clear, that Indian consumer is continuously upgrading himself. See, if you look at it purely as price, there will be overlaps, and the largest in the top 4 or 5 manufacturers, there are huge amount of overlaps in terms of price within their portfolios. But it is a sign of a maturing segment where customers stop using only price as a parameter to choose. There are use cases, there are design choices, there are performance choices being made, and as and when our auto industry is growing and maturing, you will see more fragments forming. I can give examples of other categories, cameras or mobile phones or laptops, where the market grows, but at the same time the niches also keep developing. Some people might buy a phone for the size, or for the battery size, or for the camera, or the screen, or for maybe the processor speed. So that is what is called fragmentation, and that is what will happen is already happening to the auto industry. Earlier it was an SUV. It was an SUV market, right? Then it became compact SUV, mid SUV, high SUV, and now we are seeing further segmentation in terms of probably styles and space, etc. So for me, price overlaps is a given going forward. It is about choices the consumer makes in terms of design, performance, etc. Sierra will be a lifestyle product. It will be agnostic of traditional segmentation. I think it will appeal to a very wide set of audience. Each will like it for different reasons, and most importantly, it will be signifying more of a heart purchase than anything else. That's the way we'll come. So Sierra will and Harrier will continue to exist independently. Yeah.
Brilliant. As always, it was great talking to you.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you so much for your time.